Welcome, everybody. This is The Real Deal with me, Larry, Lawton, and Benz.
What's up?
Hey, guys, everybody. First of all, I'd like to say Happy Memorial Day, man.
Memorial Day. Even though it's not Memorial Day for us, it's Memorial Day for everybody else. Happy Memorial Day.
Yes, as everybody knows, if you follow the podcast a little bit, we had to tape this one because we're away. And we don't do that. It's still The Real Deal. So whatever goes up here just goes up, straight up. So it's The Real Deal, just to let you know. But Happy Memorial Day.
Everything remains the same.
Nothing has changed.
Nothing has changed. The only thing that we're doing is that we're not recording it on actual Memorial Day. We're recording it previous because we're both going to be away, and we didn't want you guys to go without a show. So here we are.
Right. You know, we're going to try to keep that theme at all times, that we're going to keep a show going
Twice a week.
Twice a week. And if people want more and it keeps getting better and better, we might add a show again. That's
Absolutely. That would be fun.
Yeah, it's a thought. Everything's time, and you know that, but with everybody. But anyway, happy Memorial Day. We did a little research on Memorial Day. Wow, you know, Memorial Day goes all the way back to 1868. 1867 was the first one, and 1870 was the actual first parade.
Right.
And the two biggest parades are in Washington, D.C. and Queens, New York,
right,
which is pretty amazing. And actually was called something different. It was Remembrance Day.
Decoration Day.
Decoration and Remembrance. They actually had the Act of Remembrance Day in 2000.
Right.
It was passed for that. And actually, Congress passed it in 1971.
Right. That's when they made it. That's when they changed it from Decorations Day or Decoration Day to Memorial Day.
Right. And what it does, is, just if you don't know, and I know you just think it's a party day, it's actually remembering all the people who lost their lives in the wars.
It's actually a pretty serious day if you think about it.
Oh, absolutely. And I was in the military, so, I mean, I knew friends. Even if they died under a peaceful situation, so to speak, you know, they fell or something. I almost died. So, I mean, I look at that and say, wow, the Memorial Day. So I'm a big believer in Memorial Day, Veterans Day, and all that. Obviously,
100%.
as a veteran. And I think everyone is. And nobody wants to glorify war, because I don't. I think wars are terrible. I think even the wars the United States did. And I'll get deep in this for a second. I kind of don't like the fact that we founded the country on fucking killing all the Indians.
I agree. I agree 100%.
I mean, what we did back then to me is obviously should be at least in the history books. Obviously, they always say victors write the books. The victor writes what happened, history.
It's true, because the person who lost doesn't have the platform, doesn't have the voice.
They lost.
Right.
I mean, but that's a tough way to look at it in today's society, because now you're just saying the bully on the block is always right, and I don't like.
I'm not saying that it's right. I'm just saying he gets to tell his story.
Right. Exactly. Well, not in today's world. Things have changed. Look what's happening with Russia and Ukraine. You could say what you want. Where it's going to go, I mean, obviously, I think if Russia wanted to take over and it was an all-out war, it'd be over real quick. But today's worldwide communications, worldwide knowing everything, wasn't like World War II with Hitler trying to take over the world. And he tried to take over the world with Japan. A lot of people don't know the whole history of that.
Right.
And then Russia and the United States actually partnered together to stop him, what he took over Poland first,
essentially to stop Hitler, because he's gotten so far and he did so much before we even realized that it was as bad as it was.
Well, I think we realized.
I mean the
United States actually realized it early in 1939, and it just so happened that Japan attacked us in December 741, and then we got into the war.
Right.
What if we got in? I don't know, because we are such a geographically great country.
We never see war on land.
Well,
and when we do, it's not like...
No, we saw many wars. We lost many people in wars. I mean, not only overseas, even here, the Civil War. We lost more people in the Civil War than all wars combined.
I mean, like modern war. But yeah, you're right. Civil War was fucking gruesome, man.
Well, the Civil War was one thing, but now the Revolutionary War is a whole different thing. I mean, as a history junkie I am, the Revolutionary War is when we seceded from England. That's a one way. But even before that, forget how this is before it was even anything. We came here in 1492 to Mayflower and all that bullshit, and we did. Oh, nice window. Then let's kill them. Let's exterminate them and fucking start pushing them away. And that's what we did.
They have a story. They have a version of this story that I was actually taught in school. Now, how much truth there is to it, I don't know, because they also fucking glorify the guy that went lost, Columbus. But I will say this. Listen to this story. This is a version of it. They come over here, they set camp, they don't see a soul. They set camp, they think they're in fucking India. They leave camp for a few hours or for days or whatever it is, because back then when you set sail, you weren't coming back for a while. When they came back, everybody they left behind has been fucking killed. So they thought these guys are all at war and whoever it was going to be enemy number one. Now, I don't know if this is the truth. It's just a version of the story that I heard, and it almost sounds like a story put together to justify us exterminating them.
100%
Right?
it is. Because you can't even, you're talking about that's back in 1400s, at 1500s, really, end of the 14th century, 13th century, 1400s. What happened really,
Discovery of America.
Well, yeah, exactly.
We love to say he discovered America.
Yeah,
He just said the motherfucker went lost.
It got lost. He fucking found something that was already there, and now we discovered it because we wiped them out. But now, not only did people don't realize how we wiped them out, we brought all our diseases here. We all brought the diseases of the day, and they didn't have that here, obviously. They're living off just America, very secluded continent, actually.
If it wasn't already here, they didn't get it.
Right. Oh, absolutely.
Right.
And that it's like a pandemic. You could, it comes from wherever because of travel, because people moving.
People are going to associate you saying that we brought disease with like the smallpox story, but we're talking like way before that. We're talking just bringing diseases that existed in Europe and in Spain that otherwise did not exist here on this land.
Absolutely different people, different ethnicities.
If nobody was flying back and forth to China, we wouldn't have a problem with COVID.
Absolutely. If no one's driving it, if no one ever came, it would stay where it's at. It can't go anywhere.
Right.
That's just the host and all that. But now you talk about Indians went all the way up into the 1800s. Now you got to remember, Civil War, after we got into the Civil War, with us, holy shit, we secede, 1776 and all that. Now we're a country and our own country, United States. So now let's start fucking, what do we do? Lewis and Clark expeditions. Well, there's people there. Well, they're Indians. No more. We own it.
Native Americans, yeah.
Native American. I know. Yeah. I would say
that's the thing is that, and that's another thing that bothers the hell out of me. I think we talked about it here before. They call them Indians because the motherfucker was too dumb to know that he landed on the wrong spot.
Yeah.
He called them Indians, and here it's stuck. This was in the 1400s.
Yeah.
And here we are today with all the knowledge in the world. It's amazing to me that we still call them Indians.
Well, and I even say it just because I grew up with it. I mean, cowboys and Indians and the history books and everything else.
Becomes a part of how you say what you say. But the fact of the matter is these are Native Americans.
True Native Americans.
True actual Native Americans. By the way, when somebody says, this is my country, the only one that could fucking say that is a native. Shut the fuck up.
Absolutely.
You ever hear those fucking people, you come to my country, get my jobs, And I do it with that accent because you know what? Unfortunately, the only time I've ever experienced those conversations, they were played with that accent in the back.
And it's crazy, right? I think about that too. And I always step back now and just look a little bit different. Obviously, I was a guy who, the wars. I mean, I don't care, the mob wars, anybody, whoever's the strongest wins. Well, that doesn't go anymore.
Survival of the fittest?
Sure. Obviously, whoever had certain territories or wherever. There's no more wars like there were, but they had territories. You couldn't go into somebody's territory and start a bookmaking operation or whatever.
We're talking 100 years ago. Now, you don't have to go that far, right?
Talking 30 years ago, 40 years ago,
right.
Whatever it is. Yeah, the 70s.
Even today, there's there's a version of territories right here within the United States. I know, do you ever hear these people say, oh, I'm just going to, if a cop chases me, I'm going to go over to the next county. You've heard that shit, right?
First, they used to say state. Now they'll say county.
Now they're saying county because, and then when they do pull them over and they pull over, they try to get into the other county. Then they'll say, you have no jurisdiction. Okay, 1 second.
No. Here's what happens. They already have interstate, inter-county agreements, inter-city agreements.
I know that they have one between Georgia and Florida, don't they?
They have most of them now. And especially, first of all, the feds, of course, of federal highways have become where they have jurisdiction. But when you talk about, like, even here, Palm Bay, where we are to Melbourne, they have an agreement. They wrote an agreement. They had an unwritten agreement for a while, but now it's a written agreement that you can help us, we can help you, they can get somebody and stuff. Now, what you will hear, and it's true, like the sheriff doesn't have really any authority. He does, but he doesn't have it in Palm Bay because it's a county.
Not supposed to have to, right? Only in
unincorporated parts of the county.
But he couldn't do it in the city.
Right. Well, like they won't stop you going through Melbourne or Palm Bay because that's a city's area.
But they could.
They technically could,
right.
Yes, because they have that agreement. But they won't because they'll start getting into an argument. Now, now you're policing us because that's our money. Our money.
Oh, right. Because when you pay the ticket to a sheriff's office, you're paying a different ticket. You're paying to a different place.
Different agency.
Paying to the county, not the city.
Well, after the case is dissolved, everybody gets their piece, and that the issuing agency gets that piece.
Huh.
Whether it's a small piece or not, they'll say no and all that.
Never even thought about it, to be honest with you.
Think about that. It's all money.
It's crazy.
I mean, it's fucking money.
It's all money. I already knew that.
Well, we all know most things are based on money.
You say most things. I venture to say all.
Nah, I think there's certain things. I think there's organizations out there, whether it's a Buddhist organization, Christian.
People doing the right thing.
Yeah, and I think that happens. You know, and you do it and I do it. I actually do some things. And it's not about the money.
Bureaucratically, those organizations that do good, the organizations where money's not a thing, those people get pushed down because of bureaucratic money.
You know, it's I watched a great piece on Melinda Gates. Melinda Gates.
Oh
Was
yeah, she's done a lot of good.
Oh my God! Well, she was on the David Letterman. You know,
Cup of coffee or something.
No, that you're thinking of Jerry Seinfeld.
Oh right.
He that's has the car in a car with the cup of coffee. No,
my next guest is. That's what it's called.
My guest needs no interruption. Is the name of the show. My next guest needs no interruption.
Introduction.
Words,
you said interruption. Introduction. Right. Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Fucking English major.
I'm not. We put it together between the two of us. We figured it out.
But yeah. I watched that show. That's one of the shows I like. And they had. I watched Cardi B. I watched Billie Eilish. I watched Dave Chappelle. Very smart guy.
Who is that?
Billie Eilish is a singer, a young singer, unbelievable singer.
I think I heard that.
You know how she was founded on YouTube, actually, or internet and YouTube.
I love it.
Founded, but discovered. People. Wow. And a lot of people are now.
Justin Bieber was one of the first ones to do it. He really made a whole career, and he started on YouTube.
Oh, there's so many now. I mean, they're discovered because she got fucking millions and millions. I'm discovered on pretty much YouTube. If you want to really think about that.
You've been on national TV previous to that.
Yeah, but really, I mean, for the bigger part of the younger audience, because our audience is young
and they don't watch TV.
We know that. But anyway, they what you said is so true that the shows like Bill and Melinda Gates and what literally when her show came out, I think it was a couple of years ago. She was on Dave Letterman's show, and there were only 30 cases of polio that are known in the whole world. They eradicated polio. His foundation, the Bill and Melinda Gates, eradicated. Think of your fucking power.
I just fucking love it.
And done for all donations. They eradicated polio. Now the reason I asked, you're thinking why 30. Because it's like places like on the border of Afghanistan and Pakistan where they're warring or something, and they can't get to those places. They can't get access to those places to help the people.
But they eventually did.
Well, now that was 2 years ago. Only 30 cases probably gone too. Unbelievable. That's what great. She's done.
That's amazing.
It blows me away when people say, "Oh, they don't do anything." What are you doing with your money? You're not fucking around. And there's so much they do with. Giving computers to schools and this and it's amazing. Well, they're the biggest foundation in the world.
Are they?
Oh, by far.
The
$50 billion, and they have to give $3 billion away just to maintain their status as a 501c3. They have to give $3 billion, but that's nothing.
At that point, do you wonder how much of it goes to the running the organization? If $3 billion,
no, they have about 50 employees or whatever it is, and
is that it?
Yeah, I mean, you got to remember.
Did you say $50 billion?
$50 billion
worth of donations a year.
No, the foundation is worth $50 billion. They have to give away
$3 billion a year.
See, when you have that kind of money, interest and everything else, they have probably an investment arm of that foundation that says we'll invest in this and this, and we'll generate.
Take the money back, right? Of course.
Oh, they're just geniuses at that point, and they got so much money it can't go anywhere. But they do good. Like they have one arm, like Bill Gates' father. I knew this earlier, would handle like little stuff. Like Bill Gates would be in on the solving world polio, whatever the fuck. Now he's big on climate change and what they do with
he is, man. I heard him talk about it.
What they do with water over in Africa, and just people think to get vaccines to a country that doesn't have a place where you have electric that you can plug things in. How do you keep the vaccine viable? It's amazing how deep it can go. And
they have no refrigerators, and vaccines require.
Right. There's a lot of things you don't realize. And then water and how they can make water. And
so not only do they have the problem of the actual disease, but they have all these problems in reaching the people.
Logistics.
Logistics, right. And it's amazing that they're able to do it.
It's amazing. I'm learning about logistics because of the cigar, and how they have to do their cigars and how they put them and where they have to go and how they have to set up their
distribution channels are insane.
Well, it's good that I'm learning it because that's fun when I go through their warehouse and say, holy fucking, how many cigars can they do? You're going to go to, I told you, those meetings. I went last week to the meeting. I'm actually going tomorrow because we're taping. Everybody knows Memorial Day. But anyway, we're getting into more Memorial Day. And the reason I wanted to talk about Memorial Day, because not only is Memorial Day, But I'm a kind of guy. I'm a big believer. Listen, I love my country, but I'm not fucking jaded on this. America or everybody sucks. Everybody, no, people are people. I look at a Canadian or a Mexican or a Chilean or whoever it was or whoever is doing whatever they're doing. They're human beings, and most people don't like. Just take Russia and Ukraine. I always bring it up now because it's going on. Those people in Russia, they're not bad people.
Well, here's the thing. There is a sect of bad people, right? The people who are blindly following Putin, I don't give a shit. If you don't educate yourself, you're just as fucking bad.
But wait a minute. How about...
I know what I'm saying is out there.
No, what you're saying is if they're... How about if they can't educate themselves?
They don't have the ability. If they read into the propaganda as Bible.
Well, here's what happens. They might not have the internet. You take my mother. My mother believes the news. No matter what, believes the news. Now, she can be totally manipulated with the news. Totally.
She doesn't take any action against anything. She just sits there and votes.
Right, and what my point is, she wouldn't be able to research stuff like herself. I agree with you. Guys like you and I and people and the young people watch this or listen to this, of course, they're able to go take information, decipher it, trying to figure the bullshit.
Educate yourself.
Educate yourself. People can't. Some people can't. Now, you got a lot of people in Russia who can't. Maybe they don't have access to the internet.
My problem is not the people who can't for that reason. Here's what I'm saying. I'm saying there's people that are part of the war, whether it be soldiers, whether it be people in communications behind them, whether it be the government system that's kind of directing everything here into war. You know what I mean?
Right.
The people who are feeding the propaganda channels, the people, you know what I mean? I'm talking about people who have an active hand. I'm not talking about your old lady sitting in the house believing the news that Putin's doing the right thing.
But what do you do if you have a person like a general, okay? Does access. How does he not follow what's going on? How does he not follow orders? How does he not follow what's going on? How does it, especially a grunt soldier in a tank? Now, I think that's part of why they're losing. Personally, I think these guys are so educated. They knew that wasn't. They all went there, and they all thought they were going there for a training mission.
Right. Well, how fucked up are you to send people to war without their knowledge?
Well, what it is.
Has anybody ever done that before?
Yeah,
history?
of course. Everyone. Nobody knew what the war was a lot of times.
Well, people are stationed in different places saying, get ready for war. Right. They're not saying you're going into war, but
and they don't say why a lot of times. You're in war, and you I took an oath to the service. No matter what, if our commanders and our people told us to do this, we did it. You did it blindly.
Whether it was the right thing or
wrong
wrong
you didn't
thing.
know. It's not like you can say, "Oh, what's the political?" Because you can't have people questioning every little thing if you got a command.
But we are in the age of information.
Totally agree.
And here's the thing, and you got to give it to our.
But do you know what's propaganda on that?
No.
So how do you say to your commander, "Oh, I heard it on the internet," and the commander's going to start debating with every person?
Well, you can't. I mean, they'll send you to fucking military jail.
Well, they would. They'll put you in a brig, they call it.
It's
a brig.
I don't know what the fucking term is, but you get what I'm saying.
Well, that's why they have to have it where a person listens to an order, because if you're fighting a hill, you can't have a guy saying in the back, "Well, I don't think this hill's worth us taking." I mean, World War II was big like that. My uncle, one of my great uncles, died under Patton. And a lot of people didn't like Patton because he would lose so many men for a hill. And some people say later, but some people would say later, we never needed that hill, so we died under, bullshit because Patton wanted to win that. Who knows what the psychological, maybe he needed to win that hill to win another battle, to win. We don't know. So you have to have, I call it blind faith or blind loyalty. In the military.
Blind loyalty is, I think that term is correct.
Yeah, so I mean, I agree with you. Now, in today's world, that's why cops, everybody else, there's so much information out there. How do you tell somebody something and then it's figured out wrong or something? Now, does that person? That's why they have immunity for government officials too. They're given information from, let's say, the CIA or whatever, and they want to go war, and they find out later. Obviously, this happened in Iraq. I mean, Saddam Hussein had no weapons of mass destruction. That's known now.
But he kept saying he did.
Well, it's not him. It was our government kept saying he did.
No, he was saying that on fucking TV.
I don't remember him saying that.
You know why? I was really close to that war. I think I told you before. I was in Israel at the time. We were visiting my grandparents when the war broke out, and then we couldn't go back. I mean,
you're a little kid, yeah.
And they're shooting rockets at Israel every fucking day, and you never know if the next rocket's going to be a nuclear warhead or not.
Right.
You basically spent the whole time thinking. And he was sending Scuds. You remember those?
Scuds,
whatever. He was sending those, and those were they're mainly property damage. You have to hit
Well,
somebody direct.
Scuds are just a random missile. They have nowhere to go.
Right. My point is they would have.
I
to
remember
hit,
them.
Right. So that's what he was. That's what he was. And here's the thing: he was attacking Israel, even though Israel had nothing to do with this war. This was between the United. But you know what? Israel is the closest hub as far as the United States is concerned to that area. The closest democracy hub, right? I paid a lot of attention to that. I remember on TV, whether it was him or one of his lookalikes. Remember, he had a bunch of lookalikes.
Oh yeah.
Whether it was him or one of his lookalikes, he would constantly say, and if you don't do this, you don't do this. If you don't push, if you don't take back your aggression, because we were the aggressor here. We were kind of closing in on him in a way.
Well,
we were investigating
I agree.
him.
No, it all started with fucking him going into Kuwait and taking the oil. That's where it started. And the first Bush in '92 pushed his ass out, and that was a great move. 100 days, we took him out of Kuwait, brought Kuwait back, ended all, put him back into fucking power, which is okay. Never
pissed
lost
him
power,
the fuck off though.
But he still had to deal with the fucking Sunni and the Shia with the border war with Iraq and Iran.
Right.
I mean, and that's what we took the balance.
I don't think they border.
They do border.
Iraq and Iran?
Iraq and Iran. That's exactly next to it. I'll show you the border on my map.
I know Syria.
I was
going
to
to
point. I was going to point to the map.
But you don't have the map anymore.
Yeah, I love that map.
It's actually a good reason to have that map up there.
Well, I did like that map. Yes, it did border, and that's why they had an 8-year war, and it was pretty wild. But anyway, so I'm not one of these. Listen, today's Memorial Day, and what I think of Memorial Day, I do think of the people who have lost their lives, and I think of. I've had relatives, great uncles in World War II, and people who died. My uncle who died not long ago, 95 years old. He was on Guadalcanal.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, because
yeah, go ahead.
You were I was so fucking off when I said I don't think they border. The whole fucking country borders.
I said.
All right, I just wanted to say that. I looked it up real quick, and I just wanted to make sure you knew that was.
I'm pretty good with that shit.
Yeah,
but who'd you call it? My uncle who just died, 95 years old. He was on Guadalcanal, and that's in the South Pacific that they fucking had the wars, with the Japs, and literally hand-to-hand combat shit, and people died all the time. And then, of course, you had Panama, and, all the shit that went up around all that, the Philippines. You heard of the Philippine Death March and all that. Yeah. So a lot of people died for this country, and a lot of them are young kids that no knowledge. And a great thing was said to me during this war with Putin. I'm calling it the Putin war right now. Is there's so many people who, old men start wars, young men die for them. I mean, there's so many men who are dying right now on both sides. And they really don't. Now, fucking Ukraine reason. Has a reason.
Ukraine's fighting back.
They're fighting for their country. Nobody's invading Russia.
For their freedom.
Nobody invades the United States. Now, if anybody come invade the United States, well, we have enough guns in everybody's houses to fucking start a war.
I don't think they can get close enough. That's the thing.
Well, of course not. Obviously, it would be a missile thing. It wouldn't be a fucking land war, try to invade.
Right.
Remember back when they had the movie Red Dawn?
I haven't seen it.
Oh, it was Red Dawn's an old movie, Patrick Swayze, and they had the Wolverines, and all of a sudden, it opens up in the school, and these parachutes are coming in, and the Russians coming in, they start taking over, and then these kids ran into the hills, and they fight back under
they're in that movie. They invade American land.
Right? Yeah, you got to see it. It's called Red Dawn.
I'm gonna have to check it out.
You got to check it out.
That sounds awesome.
It's pretty good actually. And then these kids go off into and they're redneck kids. It's some fucking place in wherever the Midwest or something.
I bet they were successul too.
Well, the kids were kind of successful in getting into but they showed about that concentration camps and everything. You got to watch it. It's pretty cool. And how they were trying to take over the United. Of course, it's never going to happen.
Right.
There's not.
They'll never get close enough.
Can't
get in our airspace. Come on, let's be real.
We know enough friends that we could defend Melbourne.
That's what I'm saying. Just the average guns per household in fucking Florida alone.
Oh my God.
Here's the thing. I'm gonna if you ever want to invade the United States, let me give you a fucking tip.
Don't come to Florida.
Go to California, man. Do not come to fucking Florida. Don't go to Alabama. Don't go to Tennessee, Texas, because you'll get your fucking ass handed to you by the civilians. Forget the military.
Oh, absolutely. You go to New York where they don't want guns on the street.
That's what I'm saying. Go to the
they
places.
Got 38,000 cops. It's like an army.
And that's the thing. You fuck with New York. How many bases do you know around New York?
Bases, military bases? Oh, there's one in New York.
That's my point. They cover all of New York. They might not have any guns in the households, but you ain't getting there either.
No, they had a fort actually in that's where I stay, Fort Hamilton. It's under the Verrazano Bridge. It's where the port, and they actually stopped ships from coming in. That was that fort.
Right.
They have a couple of them. I mean,
They'd have to come to the West Coast. I'm thinking about it now. They'd have to be the West Coast. It would have to be like they would have to be in the land in Alaska, which would be a fucking hard place to get to.
No, the only well, no, I mean, obviously, whatever you came here have to be an amphibious assault. Has to be.
Right.
So where do you come into the lands? I mean, where would you come in?
You can't fuck with our Navy, National Guard.
I mean, the Navy,
Coast Guard.
the military, Coast Guard to be wiped out. Fucking,
mean,
we're out smoking weed.
We're out smoking weed. It's not what it was when you when you went. All right.
No, actually not. Obviously,
and I think they're pretty serious. There's no faction of this military that's not.
Listen to me. When we had what they call a war billet. During the time of war, the Coast Guard goes with the Navy. We used to have to protect 1/4 of an aircraft carrier. They have an aircraft carrier, and then you have all the ships around it, and subs and planes. And that aircraft carrier can wipe out fucking any country. But that carrier group, that's why they call it aircraft carrier group. And they have, so our job was to fucking protect 1/4 of the aircraft carrier from ASW, which is anti-submarine warfare.
Oh.
We had very good radar, sonar. So we could fucking detect shit under the water.
How far would you say?
What? Oh, miles.
They'll never make it here, especially with today's technology. That's what you did back then. Today, they could see a fucking fish fart 10 miles out.
Listen, they not only have that, they have what they call sonar buoys all over the oceans.
Right.
They drop them out there. They're out there right now. They're detecting anything that comes. They actually have a barrier around the whole entire country. And they're underneath the thing. And we had to know where they were, obviously. They had them back then. Imagine what they got today.
Oh, fuck.
It's just fucking...
it's all satellite-driven shit.
Yeah, you wonder about that. And that, back when I was younger, Ronald Reagan, I marched for him. You remember I used to have the certificate on the wall. I'm going to put that one back up maybe. But anyway, and what they had was Star Wars, and they called it Star Wars. This is back 40 fucking years ago. They called it Star Wars, and they were inventing...
First one to put a fucking
a satellite up there to knock out other satellites. Right. I'm sure they all have this shit now.
How many satellites go? We live on a fucking space coast.
They go up all
once
the time.
a week.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It seems like.
And you don't know what's going on. I love when they said undetermined payload.
Right, undetermined payload usually means military shit, right? And they don't want to tell you what's going on.
No, absolutely not.
We know people in the contracting world,
but they got spies. The Russians have spies there that are telling them what's going on. I believe that.
I believe that every major country in the world has a lot of information on the other one.
I think Israel has information on the United States.
I think Israel has information on every country. Israel has no choice but to know what's coming.
Well,
they have to predict the future on a daily basis or they will not exist.
Yeah, so like you said, how many, we looked it up, 6 or 9 million people. 9 million, I think it was, right?
The whole fucking country, yeah.
9 million people.
Something like that.
I mean, that's the size of that. Florida's got 23 million.
And to think that's...
23 million.
It's the size of New Jersey, you know that.
Yeah.
It's bigger than Florida. I mean, it's smaller than Florida.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah,
so
Israel,
23 million people.
Smaller than Florida, about the size of New Jersey. I've heard people say that before. You can cross the whole country in 3.5 hours on one way.
Right, that's New Jersey.
Right, and it's just a straight line. It's not like it doesn't have all these breakaways and annexes. And no, it's just...
Oh, it's a small country,
It's a small fucking country. And to think that 6 million Jews were murdered just, 70 years ago?
Oh.
Now 9 million, including the Muslims and Christians that live in Israel.
Well, listen, the Holocaust is one of the most craziest things that ever happened. Well, that's a maniac. And I think a lot of countries have gotten to that point with military people. Like a lot of people compare Putin to Hitler because Hitler wanted to take off of the world. What does Putin want? I don't get his strategy. Nobody invaded Russia. Nobody was gonna invade Russia. Nobody wants to invade another country unless there's an outcome. I think there is an outcome for Russia to invade.
He wants the Soviet Union back.
Well, he wanted also all those natural resources that Ukraine has.
Sure.
If you look them up, they were.
What about the other two little small countries he took over? They didn't have any national.
Well, that was part of Russia. Crimea. You're talking about that?
Crimea,
2014.
What was the other one?
Right next to it. I don't know.
Something with a B?
Man, I was just talking about it with my brother. But yeah, Crimea is one of the country that's right next to it. Now they're staging stuff from it. Now, he got away with that, I don't know, saying it was part of us to begin with and all this kind of crap. At what point, 40 years ago that was? First of all, they broke off because they fucking had no prosperity. The people in Russia, if they really knew that first of all, he promised the world for them. He's been in power 20 years. He got nothing. Did nothing. Didn't help them, nothing.
He stopped the oligarchs and he stopped the fucking
He is one of them.
What?
He is one of the oligarchs.
No, you don't understand. When he took power, he cleaned Russia up. It was a fucking no man's zone, and there was no fucking authority there. And it was basically a free for all. People were suffering.
Yeah,
The citizens were fucking suffering.
Still are.
No. Listen, the mobs were taking advantage. All these groups with power were territorial, and they would take advantage of the citizens. They would do whatever the fuck they want. There was no. And he came in under the pretense of another. By the way, he didn't run at first as him. He ran as somebody else with a gun behind his head like this, right? And he said, say this, say this. When that person started thinking for himself is when he took power.
Yeah.
That person, eventually, there was, dude, sit down. I'm the one. No, you're not.
Yeah.
Because that gun to your head is a bullet in it. And then he took power. I got to tell you, a lot of Russians, and I know some people that look at him as a savior.
Well, I don't think they can now.
Now they lack the knowledge to know.
A lot of them. I remember being on the internet when I was doing the news. Remember when I was doing the news?
Yeah.
And some people
Weekly
said,
news.
you don't know weekly news update with Larry Lawton. There's some in there. But people would say, oh, you don't really know the full story. Okay, tell me the full story. If it doesn't stay with they were going to invade me, then I don't want to know. Because anything that happened 40 or 50 years ago, you don't know. Because you weren't even alive or cognitive at all to know what really went down.
No.
So,
But history is written, and it's documented.
Again, history is written by the victor. So if you really want to talk about...
Nobody fucking won in the Soviet.
Well, again, you take the Soviet Union...
Soviet falling.
And Ukraine. See, Ukraine was its own, whatever, its own province, its own country. It's like as if California broke off the United States. But if it happened right now, I can say, no, you can't do it, whatever. But if it was 40 years ago, and now you're telling us, nah, it's like Mexico coming back and saying, we want Texas back.
Yeah, good luck.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it's like saying. Yes,
we don't even need to send the military. They'll take care of it themselves.
Oh, Texans, they got enough armor to fuck that place up too. You know that.
Oh, for sure. Texas is basically a U.S. arsenal.
Yeah, it's where we keep the guns.
Right.
But no, I mean, obviously. So I think anything happens. So anybody who can defend what goes on has to say, well, why do you invade? Why do you invade? Oh, well, it's ours. It's not ours. It ain't been yours for 40 years or whatever. It
wasn't yours to begin with.
Right.
The argument would be.
Right. Exactly. So now what? Now, what's your excuse for it? I mean, he's
telling his people right now, part of the propaganda that they're getting in Russia is that they're Nazis in Ukraine.
Oh, and fucking Zelensky is a Jew.
There's more fucking Jews in Ukraine than anywhere else in the world other than Israel and the United States.
Really?
How crazy is that?
I didn't know that. Yeah.
Dude, hundreds of thousands are showing up to Israel every day.
Wow.
For asylum.
Yeah. Oh. Well, or freedom. I don't know if it's asylum. Asylum is when you did something wrong and you want to come.
Right. Yeah, I'm using the term, but you get what I'm saying. To get in under some sort of asylum.
Yeah, some sort of pass to get in without, visas. I understand.
And Israel can't take them all, man.
No.
But if you're Jewish, they won't turn you.
They won't turn you down.
They won't turn you down.
So if I became a Jew, does that matter?
If you became a Jew?
Yeah.
There's no such thing as becoming a Jew.
Well, why? I can go to school like Tellini, my buddy in prison, become a rabbi.
He became a rabbi. Yeah, but not by actual Jewish standards.
Well, so he would.
Jews,
he doesn't have any standard as a rabbi.
He does. No standing as a rabbi. Nobody's gonna go to him to get a fucking rabbi's blessing. And by the way, I'm not big on rabbis as a general.
It's a religion, and you're not big on that too.
I'm just not big on a man being a representative of God. We talked about this before, and I fucking feel. I heard you talk about it 2 shows ago when you were talking to Lewis. Right, about the aliens thing. And then you brought up the fact, and you said it again. And you know what? I love hearing it because Larry, not a whole lot of people see eye to eye with me on that. That's true.
Oh, I'm obviously I'm not going to let another man tell me or dictate to me. That become cults.
A man's a man.
A man is a man.
It's the same.
I will take advice. I will listen, and fuck, that's it.
You could be smarter than me.
Absolutely, people are smart.
I say you're honored to a judge. I have no problem.
Absolutely,
but I don't say to the judge, my father.
Oh, no.
Reverend be his name.
I told you, yeah.
I know. That's your soapbox. I get it. I'm with you.
I can't stand that. And I will never call a person reverend.
Right. So rabbi is the same thing. It doesn't change. And by the way, since you like to say how it's not discussed anywhere in the Bible, reverend and father and all that, and I'll be honest with you, the word rabbi is not mentioned once.
There you go. I didn't even think of that.
It's made up. God, the whole pretense of Judaism is not to think of another man as God. The whole idea, we're not allowed to, we don't have statues in our house. Not a single statue.
You don't pray to a guy.
Oh, no, you only pray to one God.
Yeah, the God.
That's it. And technically, believing in a person is sin by Jewish religion. And people believe in rabbis.
Right. What is a rabbi supposed to be? Like a priest? Compare him to a Christian religion.
I'll tell you how it started, and I'll tell you what it's become.
Oh, yeah.
It started as if me and you are having an argument in the neighborhood, right? Instead of having to call the cops, instead of blah, 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 me and you are having an argument, and we can't settle based on maybe a trade that we did or something. We both find a person that we both trust as a nice median guy. For me and you, it would be Joe, would be the perfect guy,
Okay.
right? And we go to him, and now he's our rabbi. He is going to say whether you're right, I'm right, and what's going to happen.
He's a mediator.
He's exactly what it is. A rabbi is supposed to be a mediator, a person that you both trust enough to make a decision for your argument. It could be between you and your wife. It could be between you and your son. It could be over trade. It could be whatever it is. You take care of it down the street at that guy's house if this is your guy. But now, if you have a fight with Teresa, she doesn't know this guy. She doesn't know Joe. So you would have to find somebody that's mutually, and that's your rabbi. So that's what a rabbi is, a mediator that you could both agree would be the right guy.
Oh, so you both have to agree on what rabbi,
You
so
both,
to speak.
right. So there's no such thing as rabbinical school. What the fuck teaches you how to be a mediator? Call that a judge today in modern society,
Yeah.
right? We go see a magistrate or a judge, and we get it done, right? Depending on where you live. These motherfuckers have made it into essentially what a reverend is, essentially what you would consider a priest to be. But we don't even have that. We have three things. We have God, and then we have the fathers, the fathers which are like, Moses, Abraham,
Prophets.
Isaac, prophets, right? That's actually the better term. That is the term. I didn't have it, but that's it. So it's God, the prophets, the Cohens. You ever heard the last name Cohen? Those are people who are revered because they are part of the original tribe of Cohen tribe. Them, and then all mankind. Literally all mankind, not Jews and then Christians and then, no. All mankind below, because you got to treat, we say a blessing every Friday. Our blessings are fixed. They're not like, you sit down and you make up what you want. Thank you, baby Jesus. And all. We don't have that. We have a set thing. You read this, right? And it covers it all. Read this. And in that blessing, we say that you are not any better than your neighbor, and you're not any better than his cow. Just to tell you that you got to be a better person. Now, I'm not saying people follow that. People have their own interpretation of what they hear.
No, absolutely.
Yeah, the Quran also says, don't kill anybody or you'll go to hell. And here they are, they're murdering people in martyrism every day.
Well, again, they bastardize in how the text and how they manipulate text and how they talk about it.
It all starts with love.
Yeah, I love that. You said that the other time. I love it. And it's so true because, well, again, when I look at Judaism, and, like Paul goes to not rabbi school, whatever. I don't
Rabbinical
know.
school.
Is that what
That's technically what they call it, yeah.
Oh, my, what?
And
he did it for the food.
I know, because the kosher food is the best.
Man.
You remember when flying, you wanted to ask for the kosher meal because you would get a nice hot meal, not this fucking TV dinner that they would otherwise give you. So you know what they did? They made a whole bunch of kosher food that's on purpose garbage just to get people back, because people would ask for the kosher meal. All of a sudden, this guy's eating fucking spaghetti and meatballs, and you're over here eating a fucking toast with a piece of cheese on it. That's your kosher meal. People are like, all right, I'm not going to ask for the kosher meal anymore.
I'm not Jewish anymore.
right, that's it. Not Jewish anymore. Let me get that spaghetti and meatballs.
So actually, the Jewish people. So what? Actually, I do know this. In Brooklyn, has the biggest Jewish population, I think, in the United States.
It might still be that way, but I think it's trending towards Miami area.
Oh, really? But
Either Miami
it used
or
to
LA.
be Brooklyn.
It's now either Miami or LA. It's trending that way. I don't know that it's not, because Brooklyn is.
Oh.
Think about the 5 towns. It's basically Israel.
Yeah.
If they ever wanted to fucking give up on the land over there and come over here, plenty of space.
Oh, like a ton. No, really, think about that.
Problem is, you got to live in New York.
Yeah. And I listen, but now it used to confuse me. We got a little on religions, okay.
Yeah.
It confused me with Hasidic Jews and like a regular Jew.
Extremists and non-extremists.
So Hasidics are just extreme Jews.
They you know what the word Hasidic means in Hebrew?
No.
It means Charedim, which means scared. That's literally the word scared.
Hasidic means scared.
Yeah, if so, here's the thing. It's not exactly the meaning. So in Hebrew, we call the Hasidic, what you call Hasidic, we call them Charedim, which is, they call themselves that too. Charedim, the word means scared of, meaning they are scared. So what does that exactly mean? It means if God didn't tell me exactly how to turn off the TV, then I'll do it in the most safest of ways to make sure I don't piss him off. So if God didn't say, nobody says to wear a yarmulke. Yarmulkes are not discussed in the Bible, not at all.
So you don't believe in yarmulkes, of course.
Women are supposed to cover their hair, for modesty reasons, just like Muslims. They cover their hair and to be modest and not show too much skin. But guys, it's never discussed that you have to cover your
You
head.
got to watch this piece by George Carlin on religion.
I have.
Did you listen to that one about the hats? No hats, this hat.
Yes,
You go to church in a Catholic church, the men take off their hats, the women put them on. You go in this one, they put them on, they cover. You go, who's right?
Right.
He goes, who the fuck? Somebody got this fucked up.
Right. and he's not wrong.
Oh, he's so.
So these guys just live, the Hasidics, they live in a world where they just want to be as safe as they absolutely could.
So where did they come up with? And I know, and I'm thinking it's Hasidic because I only seen they have the twirls.
Yeah, they're not the only ones that do it.
Yeah, but
other Jews that aren't Hasidic, that are Orthodox, they have that too. But what they do is they put it around their ear so you don't see it.
Not only that, but they don't shower. I remember being on the.
That's not true.
Well, listen, I was on the trains in New York, and
It would stink to high hell.
And they're all in black. It's
100
degrees.
That's why they
in the
stink,
subway.
bro. And it's from shower to shower. You stink in 10 minutes when you're outside at 100 degrees, 100 fucking.
And you're wearing all this crazy shit.
That's why they stink. It has
But
nothing
why
to,
do they wear
shower.
that crazy shit?
It's a uniform.
Oh fuck! Because I'm like, I told you I had a buddy who robbed them. They used to, I didn't know
They were big in the diamonds.
Oh,
yeah.
diamonds! They used to take their diamonds, put them in their hats, and they take them to the temple to bless them. This is that I don't know where it come up.
Also, that doesn't exist.
Well, it did where he robbing them.
Yeah,
I know a guy who was robbing them for
couldn't-
that reason.
And technically, I'll tell you, whatever it is, in Judaism, maybe they said that that's what they were doing with it. In Judaism, you can't idolize a statue or a rock.
Yeah,
or
it's
a,
like,
you couldn't bless
so
a diamond.
Moses come down from the mountain and broke it because they were idolizing the gold.
Right, because you can't, according to religion, God told you that specifically in the Ten Commandments you like so much. in the Ten
You mean the ones I don't believe in, all of them?
Yeah, obviously I'm being facetious. But you're not, blessing a diamond is not a thing. I mean, at least in the Judaism that I grew up.
Again, listen to me. All I know is where the guy was robbing him and why he was robbing him, because that's what happened. And I know the guy very well. And he dressed
So you
up
would
in the
catch
whole.
him on the way to
dressed
bless
up
him?
in the whole outfit, the whole works. Had the whole thing with the twirlies, the whole thing. He's walking down the street. He knew which one. They even came where they were.
The twirlies. If a Jew is listening to this, would be like, that is just so fucking hurtful.
Oh, I don't mean to be hurtful.
They're called
to the
payas.
guy. I will never remember that.
Twirlies.
Well, they're the curly cues.
Like
The curly cues. Like the hair. I couldn't grow them. I guess I couldn't be a Hasidic.
Everybody could grow it.
Oh, I couldn't.
Basically, all you got to do is not cut this part.
You mean shave over there?
Or don't shave up here and don't cut this. It'll eventually grow.
Yeah, that look great.
And they do it since they're kids, so it's always long.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
I know. And again, it's extremists on any religion, period. I don't care. Christian religions, I don't care. Christian religion, they kill a lot of people.
Forget religion. I don't like extremists in literally anything.
You're right. You're right.
I don't like any extremists. Because if you think about it, extremists in a political way, it's just as bad.
Oh, listen, you got the extremes on the right, the extremes on the left. That's what's fucked this country up.
Exactly.
That's fucked this country up. And they don't want to listen. I wish people would be more not. Again, you're a reader, you're an internet guy, you've been around, so you read. And maybe that's why you don't believe in some of the stuff that maybe some people and you respect, they still believe in that. And I know, and we know radicals on both sides of the aisle. I do.
Sure.
And I look and I go, I mean, and they're smart. Why do you just not read in certain things? I mean, what's stopping people from opening their minds? And maybe it's because I've been around and in the block and had money, didn't have money, so you sometimes look for things or.
I'm assuming that somebody out there could look at us, you and me, the way we do things and how we do it and say, why don't they open their mind? Everybody's mind is open to what it's open to. And what we don't know, famous sentence.
Yeah.
You don't know what you don't know.
Yeah, but okay, let's go with extremes or open-mindedness.
You're extreme.
In what? Give me one thing I'm extreme in. One thing. Larry's extreme in.
You like your drink a certain way. I won't even
It's
tell
not
you what
extreme.
drink. Bro, I've seen you react when the drink wasn't right. That's extreme.
That's
extreme.
Not me, somebody else.
Right, but you get what I'm saying.
That's not. I'm saying when you tell, what extremists are in my mind, and I love the word, people who won't open their mind and listen to others. If you or I'm a debater,
Closed-minded,
or I'm very open-minded to change if a person could change my mind. And I always say that I never want somebody, no matter what debate you're in. No matter what. And you can have your deep thoughts and your stuff. And everybody does. But if you can show facts or something, it's like having numbers. If you believe 4 plus 4 is 9, and I can show you in a fact how numbers were founded and stuff, and 4 plus 4 is not 9, it's 8. But you're unwilling to change, that's an extremist to me. And that's what happens with extreme Judaism or extreme Christians. Nobody can change their mind.
They're locked.
They are locked.
They're
And they
locked.
don't, extreme political people on both sides of the aisle.
Locked.
What makes you fucking so
sure.
stubborn? Sure.
They'll say the same thing to you. They'll say the fact that you don't see it the way I do. I'm playing devil's advocate.
And I like that.
I'm only playing devil's advocate because I try to see, and you know what? Part of being open-minded, Larry, is trying to sit or wear the shoes of the person next to you. You know?
Let me tell you something, how I learned the law. And whenever I learn the law and whenever I do, and people who listen to this channel who know me, and I've helped them, they always say, let me run that by Larry in the law. And I'll always play the devil advocate. And if I can't answer, in other words, they're so solid, I don't have then I go, you got a good case. Because I'm trying to poke holes in your case.
Right.
That's what lawyers do. The lawyer takes a case against the government, and how many holes can I punch it in to convince these people?
You don't have a defense. You don't have shit unless you have figured out what your holes are.
Well, again, that's to me is where everything, and you do the same thing, and I like to do that, but I like to make sure we have that open mind to change, because I've had my mind changed before on things, and then there's things
I could have my mind changed once a day if people bring in a good argument.
Absolutely,
sure, I'm open-minded,
no question,
just about anything. Be honest.
Well, yeah, I mean, I am too, obviously. I mean, and it goes for everything. It goes from sex to drugs to work to anything. I will change my mind. And when I say open, there's people who are just so closed-minded they don't want to see a different avenue you can even get on. Take sex. You have people who get so enamored that this is the only way to do something. This is not right. Listen, it's not hurt. I often look at that. Listen, I don't care what a Hasidic Jew does, but I'm not going to do it.
They don't care what you do either. Just tidbit.
Oh, they don't.
Oh, fuck no. We're trained essentially as Jews. If you grow up Jewish properly, Orthodox Jews, you're trained to know that everybody else is different. That we're not all the same. And like I said, our prayers even say you respect your neighbor and you respect his cow. Your cow is not allowed to work on the Sabbath, just like, you know what I mean?
Mm.
Like if you have.
Let me ask you a question about that. Do Hasidic Jews believe in gay people?
Believe in gay people?
Well, accept it like it's normal, everything's good, you can marry, do
absolutely
everything.
Not.
Why?
Because the religious extreme in every religion.
Well, I'm asking because you said Hasidics believe that the cow is, you respect the cow as much as you do the next man.
They're supposed to respect the guy regardless of his sexual orientation, yes. Do they? Personal, I guess. You can take it person to person.
No, I only ask that because I use that extreme all the time. You know, is that the real extreme?
And you know what? It's a good challenge to any religion to see whether or not they accept a person for who he is, whether he be gay, whether he be whatever.
Right. And does he really respect that person?
And dude, there's no fucking religion that's okay with being gay. None of the major ones anyway.
No, you know what? Oh, yes, Buddhism does.
I'm not. I said like I mean.
Well, it is a major one.
I know it is. You're right. I shouldn't say that. What I mean to say is
the Judaism, Muslims, or
Christianity. Right. Then they have something that's called
Judeo-Christian.
Right.
Yeah.
So that I think those are the religions that are typically against it. Those religions are just they're stuck 4,000 years ago.
Yeah, and I wonder why. I wonder why you would care what another person does. Like you said, their real teachings is whatever. Why don't they follow? What puts somebody in it? Is it, I always think of fear. When people are anti-gay, I think right away he's either gay or something.
I told you their name, their term for themselves is scared. Fear. That's the term.
Well,
that's how
you're talking Hasidics. I'm talking about anybody now. Well, you take anybody who comes out, fuck those homosexual fags or whatever they use word.
Dude, the people who fucking say that, I am convinced, are at least a little gay.
Absolutely. No, I really am.
They've got a problem within themselves or within their families, and what they're doing is they're really speaking out.
They're fighting it.
Bro, I could not care less unless it's in my own skin, right? And these people fucking care.
Oh, no, they care. Well, again, I'm big with the abortion. We're gonna even go back to that for a second.
That pisses me off. I'm gonna try and stay relaxed through this topic.
Because somebody said some Benz like that. I agree. Again, that's a choice, and that's somebody that I think once we start putting our choices or our feelings or on something personal, then we're out of line. I don't care who you are. I don't like the government telling me. First of all, I don't even like the fact that they have to agree to marry. What the fuck? Now, see, that becomes a legal issue. Meaning like you can't go to a hospital unless you're married to see somebody. And if two guys are living together 30 years and one guy's gay or they're gay and they're not married.
You don't get the benefit of being the significant
right.
other.
And that's a piece of paper that means shit.
It means nothing.
I mean, because you could be married. I was married for 12 years and didn't see the person.
Right.
Well, I saw her, but anyway. And obviously, but I'm technically married,
I don't give a shit if you want to marry a tree, dude. Do it.
That's what the argument with gay people, anti-gay or marriage. What's next? You gonna marry a goat? Go marry a fucking goat,
dude. If that's what rocks your boat, marry your car. I don't give a fuck.
What do I care?
No, I don't. I really.
And you want to leave your money to the car? Your goat? Leave it.
I don't know if it's like the years that I grew up. I don't know if it's more modern than your average individual from 70s, 60s, 40s, even before that. I mean it. I am looking for a fuck to give. I am, when it comes to gay marriage, I remember that whole debate that happened when I was, kind of high school and then college. Bro, I wanted to be against it. But I truly, as the person I am and the people
Why you want it? Because just the way you grew up?
No. Because I'm a devil's advocate by default. I try to find a problem.
Same with me.
If there's an argument over something, I want to put myself in your shoes and my shoes, and then I'll figure out where I want to stand.
That's why you're a Jew lawyer, right?
Exactly. But no, I mean that.
Yeah.
So I wanted to find something for the other argument. The only thing I ended up with always is that, because my priest said, or because that's what Jesus said. And I never found Jesus to say that on TV. Have you ever put on TV and saw Jesus say that? Because I haven't.
Not only I haven't, he's not. He loves everybody.
All these people. So I heard. All these people who are literally talking for God, they are literally putting themselves, and they're worried about what's going to happen to the world if gay people get married.
Yeah.
Here we are. Gay marriage is legal.
Yeah.
Have you looked
changed
outside?
anything?
I don't know. It's
fucking thing.
Not a fucking thing. How about that? If anything, people are this much happier because they got their way. The fuck's the big deal?
Right. No, and I look at that and I look at people who are so anti in anything, and it really goes for anything that doesn't have. I'm a believer in don't do harm to others.
Okay.
Sure. Like what I want to do with drugs or somebody wants to do in this own house, as long as it's not harming a kid or illegal or something like that, do whatever the fuck you want to do in this house. And I'm a believer in that. Now, if you're mutilating somebody, obviously, then there becomes a different
There's
animal.
the extreme. You found the extreme.
Yeah,
right?
but so many people get rambunctious. I get a kick out of it, and I laugh because I'm so open on anything. Because I've been around too much, and maybe I've been around gay people, and I've been around drug addicts, and I've been around gangsters, and you'll be surprised. Every one of them got gay people in them. I don't give a fuck who they are.
Right?
They have to hide it because it's different. I grew up a little bit different because I grew up where it's like, the military even. I used to say in the military, why the fuck I'm going to die for this country. Why can't that gay guy die for this country?
What the fuck's the difference?
What's the fuck? Get in here. Fuck, you want to fight for it next to me? Good for you. I remember the old, but what happens if they're in a foxhole together? That guy doesn't want you just as much as another guy don't want you.
What happens if you sit on the bus next to a woman? Please, get out of here.
Right.
Get the fuck out of here. Be the fucking 10 out of 10 sitting next to you. You ain't got a shot. It's the same fucking thing, bro. I don't think it matters. If you know a woman, I don't care how pretty she is, right? And I don't care how half naked she is. She's gay. She's gay. She don't give a fuck about you.
Absolutely.
You can try and put your game on all day. What'll happen if they're in the foxhole together?
Right.
They'll fucking be in the foxhole together and when they move on.
And they'll protect each other because that's what they're doing for the military.
That's the thing. And a lot of the people growing up, I remember still the propaganda, the conservative propaganda about gay people was that they were deviants. And they were after you and they were very sexual. And they wanted to fuck every straight guy.
That's proven opposite. Bro. They have less rapists, less child molesters, less everything.
History says it. They hid who they were. You could have been hanging out with a fucking super gay guy every day of your fucking life, and you never even fucking knew about it because he was afraid to say anything.
Absolutely.
So if he's so fucking gay and so fucking dangerous, and you didn't even know it existed, was it a problem ever?
Listen, I was in prison. Trust me, it was not a problem, no matter what anybody did.
And everybody there is after a piece of ass. I mean, that's the fucking number.
If you want to be gay, yes.
Right.
I mean, right. But no, and I'm sure there has to be in everybody. I often look at that, like I talk the swinging lifestyle. And I said, you'd be surprised how many people you don't know are into
swingers.
Oh, I mean, I know because I in that game.
People are sexual in general.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I hope they are. Because if you're not, and I hear of people, and you know this, oh man, I don't get laid but once a month. And I shake my head. And
You love that story.
Well, once a month. That's 12 times a year. You fuck. You suck your dick in a pussy once a month. Now, you either got a girlfriend, which is, I guess, against or good with your religion, and you're putting her up, and you're getting laid that way. So now you're getting laid more than once a month. Or you're getting laid with just your wife. If she's getting once a month, she's getting laid or whatever, somebody's dick. Because you're right. Everybody's a sexual person. I tell people, I know this is crazy. I ejaculate every single day.
That's fucking,
every fucking day.
That is fucking crazy.
Well, it's just, something I do sometimes for stress relief. I feel it or whatever. I don't know. It's just something. And it's not, I'm not overly sexualized. You know that. I'm not out going, crazy. I'm a regular person that likes to have fun, talk bullshit, and have fun. Go to lunches. I mean, I was in California with you, and I didn't do a thing with a person. And I had them right in front of me.
Right.
Literally.
Right.
In front of me to do something. I could
not only there, yeah.
Yeah, so and it's because it wasn't my head or whatever. Doesn't mean I didn't jack off at night in the room we were in, and I did.
I just want to specify we were not in the same room. He
No,
said
we were not.
We were in completely separate rooms.
Oh yeah. No, obviously it was. But so my point is, I just maybe it's because I'm a regular sexual guy, and I'm 60. So a lot of people go, I hope they take this. When I was younger. Holy shit. And again, I was never deviant. I never did anything ever against anybody's wishes or whatever. Never.
Well, that doesn't make you a deviant. A deviant is somebody who likes something outside of the usual.
I'm a deviant then.
Yeah, you are. But I'm just saying it's incorrect. When I say deviant earlier, I mean it's incorrect to assume that every gay person is a deviant. What they were trying to do is they were trying to make them...
Well, if you're gay, you are deviant if you're outside the norm. I guess if the norm is
assuming you want to calculate a norm. I really don't.
Right. I don't. I don't
place.
Either.
Here's the thing. You and I can have opinions all day. We could start a whole podcast that says, fuck those gay guys. And we can just sit here and talk shit about them every day. Does that change anything? You think there are any less gay people in the world because we have an opinion?
First of all, why do I want that? I said, you said that. Even that's so extreme to me. I don't care what a person is or what they want. If they're happy and they don't harm anybody, I want them to do it. So it's not about having them. Let that person be happy. Let every person be happy. I'm a believer in that. I really am. That I think every one of us need to express ourselves in that happy way.
Right.
And I look at this topic. Of course, we started on Memorial Day. Then we went to religion. And now we're talking about sex, which is, something that comes up a lot on this channel.
But here's the thing. It's we go back to this point a lot. And there's a reason we go back to it. The right to be who you are.
I want this podcast to always, it's the real deal. And that's why I tell it and I do get kids who say, I just got a bunch of emails. I don't know if I showed you a few about the helping guy get off addiction. One other guy.
You get them all the time. Yeah, it's not surprising to me anymore.
And they're nice. And I really appreciate it. And it makes me happy because I hope there's a kid out there, whoever he wants to be. And if he wants to express himself, he's gay or not, good for you. Be happy. Understand. I understand people being in the closet. I understand, for whatever, because they're family, I hope they don't have to be, meaning I hope they're open in their world, but there's not. Obviously, there's especially older people more than younger people. But younger people today can give a flying fuck. That's what I'm learning.
Isn't that a good thing?
I love it. That's why I respect
I feel that's
younger.
why I am who I am. I grew up in just a different world, a world that was willing to listen.
Yeah, your family was like that.
Well, here's the thing. My family never gave a fuck one way or the other.
Right.
Listen, we were Jewish, and we knew that, being gay is wrong and all that. I've learned that growing up, but my parents
never bought into it.
Yeah, and I don't think my parents ever gave a fuck enough to say anything to us. It just didn't bother us, Larry. It just still to this day doesn't bother me.
But it bothers some people.
Enough to fucking pick it on the streets. That's my point.
Pick it.
There's a fucking guy here. I don't know if you see him. He's by Satellite Beach. Every fucking Tuesday or Wednesday, I don't know exactly. I see him all the fucking time. He sets up shop. He sells Trump books while he's there. He has all the MAGA stuff. And then on the side, so that's one side of his table. And then the other side of his table is
anti-gay stuff,
anti-abortion, anti-gay, and then some extremist fucking nonsense. And he sits there every day. Now this guy, he's smart enough to put it together, so he's not a total
older
dum-dum.
guy, my age, your age.
I would say he's probably in his 50s.
Okay.
So he's not an old guy by any means. He sits there and he sells the fucking shit from the table. And he sits there basically with his anti-abortion, anti-fucking gay, anti-this, anti-that shit every day. I
Do
swear.
you think people buy that shit?
You think anybody gives a fuck what he says?
Oh, I absolutely don't. But do you think people buy his shit?
Do people buy his shit?
I mean, I'd love to sit there let's tape him for a few hours and see if somebody's buying it.
It's all right.
I mean, and not to say it against why and how many people, like if he was there 2 hours, 5 hours,
how many people actually stop?
How many stop and buy something?
Oh, he has shit for sale though.
Listen, whatever he sells. Is it enough that people are moving the needle?
You know what the problem is? Forget that. How about the fact that this guy has illegal commerce in the middle of a fucking intersection, but they're going after... I saw this fucking thing online where kids with a fucking lemonade stand...
I saw that too.
The fucking police is taking it away. But meanwhile, this jackass is sitting there taking up a fucking pretty serious portion of the fucking sidewalk, blocking the fucking sidewalk completely, access to a street. That's okay, though.
Yeah, that's fucked up. Huh?
Why? Because he can turn around and go to court and say that you're silencing him, but the little kids won't do shit about it? Is that why?
Wow. Well, if my kid was silent, you don't know.
Video.
Listen, why don't he have a permit?
You know what? Here's the thing. He's there so fucking often he might. And in this fucking county, I wouldn't be surprised.
Good point. I mean, but that's the funniest part I love. You get a county that's super conservative like this. Do you know how many people who are so super conservative are sucking dick or doing whatever?
Guaranteed. I maintain
100%. How about the Larry Craig, the one guy who was the anti, he's in the stall in the bathroom, blowing somebody.
Of course he is. And when shit like that comes out, I'm not surprised, not even a little.
Oh no, I'm not either. And I think it's just the political aspect of it. I don't know if it's just they want power so much or something.
We already know that political rivals will switch fucking gears depending on what gives them the rating and the votes.
Oh well, obviously every one of them.
Dr. Trump. He'll be a doctor next year, I'm sure of it.
Oh yeah. He's went from he switched parties how many times?
Well, here's the thing. Whatever was most beneficial to him at the time.
It's hard to go by him because he's outwardly a total opportunist.
Oh, opportunist, exactly, yeah.
Whatever one is.
Yeah, no doubt.
And I always say, listen, believe in what you believe, and then I can vote. If a guy really believes in this and I don't like, I'm not voting for him, period. It has nothing even to do with an issue at that point. Oh, you're great on this issue. No, you don't have a character, the lying part. I don't care if you were gay. I thought Pete Buttigieg, who is now the head of transportation for the Biden administration, one of the smartest guys I've ever heard speak. He speaks fluent 7 languages. He was a major in the military. Young, perfect, 38 for us it would have been as president of the United States. Why? Because he's gay? Who gives a fuck? He's smart. He's in the military. He rose to the rank of major.
Do they care whether or not he does it doggy style or missionary?
Somebody must.
I mean, when you're voting, do you care what the fucking guy does when he goes home?
Absolutely.
Do you care what kind of water he drinks?
No. Matter of fact, I'll tell you what I do. Someone said to me, they go, when you see somebody go to get divorced or not divorced, political person that gets caught fucking around. I don't give a fuck.
No.
That's between him and his wife.
Right.
Not me.
Right.
Maybe his wife's into it. Maybe they're into fucking...
It's his opposition trying to fucking discredit him is all it is.
Right, because what he does is between his wife and himself or his partner.
No, if he was violent, I'd like to know.
Absolutely.
If he was using anything, I'd like to know because he is in public office, and I like my public office people not to do crack.
To be clear-headed.
Here's the thing: if they smoke weed at night and have a drink, doesn't bother me.
That's
but
a
if he's
drug now.
No. But if he has here's the thing: if you can somehow, I don't know that you could do it. You said you could. I personally don't see it. If you could do crack once a night and it doesn't hurt your next day, fucking do that too. But if he's a fucking junkie, I'd like to know.
Again, I agree, but how do you know a guy's not an alcoholic?
That's the thing. Most of them are.
Well, again, that's the cipher in the drug. I think it's on actions. I don't believe in that. I believe I'm going to judge a person's actions. I know people who can do drugs every day and be normal. You'd never know it.
And I also know people like Trump who's never had a drink in his fucking life. And look at him.
Right. No. When I hear people don't do drugs, don't do don't fuck around, don't do this, do. There's something deep in that motherfucker that's worse.
Yeah.
So what a person does, and I get what you're saying. I don't want I don't want an addict that's going to be so freaking out he can't push the button.
I just don't want people to make decisions in either haste or in clarity. I just don't want people to make decisions that are for all of us without a clear head.
Yeah. And I get that, but you get people who do that with a clear head that are fucked up too.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
So
you're
maybe
right.
I would rather them fucked up sometimes. Think about that. And then again, how do you decipher medical? If a guy takes an anxiety drug because the doctor said you have high anxiety and it's a Xanax, is he a drug addict? Is his mind not going? I don't know.
Right.
At what point, again, I'm going to go by actions. And that's why I think experience matters. You see a guy in office for X amount of time. He's done this. He's not an erratic. He's not getting DUIs. He's not doing all this stuff. So that's how I'm looking more at a person's actions than what I hear he tell. If I heard a guy, hey, did you hear Bill Clinton snorted a line of coke? Man, good for him. I hope he did it off a fucking pussy.
I could think of a few politicians I'd love to fucking do coke with.
I could too. No, I'm not.
I know you're not.
But my point is, it doesn't bother me, just like the sex doesn't bother me. And I get it where people go, what? And again, we're putting our morals on him. Now, you have a right to, as a person in office, or to vote for somebody. Like you said, you don't want this.
Are they not putting their morals on us?
Who?
Politicians.
Well, no, they shouldn't. They should. Well,
look at the entire conservative fucking party as a whole.
And they want the gay vote.
Which, by the way,
they want the gay vote.
They want the gay vote, but how are they going to get the gay vote if they're fucking so anti-gay?
I get what
and they're anti-abortion. And here's the thing: that's
I think the abortion was going to hurt them.
Biggest fucking problem. Yeah, I agree. The biggest fucking problem that we have with parties today is that we have churches backing up a party.
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely.
We have religion literally running half of the fucking country.
Oh yeah.
Because I will bet you that fucking at least 50, and I might be giving them some, at least 50% of conservatives could not give a bigger fuck about gay people and could not give a bigger fuck about abortion.
Matter of fact, I know 50, but 50, I know a lot
way more than that, right?
Absolutely.
Oh, I know it.
50%. Every conservative guy we know, and we know a bunch.
I know a bunch.
Not one of them give a fuck about gay marriage or gays, or do they give a fuck about the other thing we were just talking about? Not the gay marriage. Abortion.
Abortion, yeah.
They don't want, listen, have abortion.
How about this? I know
every one of them. Right?
I know a guy that don't say his name, who is a conservative, a diehard conservative, lifelong conservative, put money into the conservative party constantly. He has a gay son and he loves him.
Oh,
and a couple of years ago, he was at a fucking gay parade with him, sending us pictures and stuff, and I loved seeing that.
Absolutely. And
I'm not glorifying gay. I just don't give a fuck about gay because it's their problem, not mine.
And I agree with you 100%. And no matter what it is with anybody, that's why it's usually people who are anti-gay or anti-something until something happens to somebody close to them.
And then all of a sudden,
it's
I see that a lot with racism.
Yeah, we know that too.
You get a guy whose daughter marries a black guy, and all of a sudden,
right? No, and again, see that I don't know if I grew up a little bit just more liberal because where I grew up,
right?
But I grew up with the rough, the mobsters. That you got caught doing something, they fucking shoot you, you die. You don't fucking just can't vote,
right.
And I know things, so I'll just leave that at that. and it blows me away that what we're saying. If I think the Republicans are messing up big time with abortion because the young people came out to register to vote at an alarming rate.
And there's young people who are financially conservative, who want less taxation, who want less laws. And you know what?
I'm not young, but
but I mean, you have a whole movement of young. You see, millennials, my generation, they were all about free shit, right? That was the Democrat movement for all these young kids, right? They were like, we want the party that's going to do right by us, do away with student loans, this, that, and the other. But that's no more. The newer generation that's coming up, young, somewhat conservative. I'm not saying, here's the thing, they don't care about abortion. They don't care about gay people.
Or sex.
They don't care. That thing is they don't, but you know what does matter to them?
Money.
Finances.
Well, you could be, again, I think most
Social
people,
Security being available.
Well,
health insurance.
I think most people, and forget just young, most people are libertarians because they're fiscally conservative, but socially liberal.
I think that's you just described, at least in my opinion, at least 50% of the
50?
Republican Party.
Oh, okay. I was going to say 80% of the country.
Yeah, but I think it's at least 50% of the Republican Party.
I'll tell you the only one thing, and we're gonna get going. I got
Okay,
things to do.
I gotta bounce.
Well, we got to bounce, but one thing I believe that whatever political party picks up and says marijuana should be federally legal
We'll
and
win the
pushes
next
it
election.
and pushes it,
Yeah.
will be the next powerhouse party for many, many years to come. Because
I will vote.
my mother wants legal marijuana.
Good
And
for
she's
her.
89 and goes to church and can care less about gay people. Care less. Loves them.
Right.
She says, "Oh, I love everybody." And my mother's true. You know my mother
Absolutely.
well.
I try not to say that I love them. You know why? Because I don't want to take an opinion on the matter. It's not my business. Whether I love gay people or I hate
Well,
gay
how's
people.
this? I love all people.
Well, I love that. I have no problem with that. I can't say that because I truly
Well,
don't.
you don't
feel-
want the truth. If this kid listening, he might be gay. So I love you guys. I love anybody.
100%,
So don't look
100%.
at, and I mean that
Yeah.
in a big way. And you got the biggest supporter in the world here.
Right.
And I want
love
you to be who
I
you
su-
are, and that's it. Don't live a life on other people's terms.
How
That's
about-
what I tell everybody.
How about this?
You know
love
that.
I love you because you're a listener. You're a supporter. You're part of the movement, whatever movement. I don't even know what the movement is.
It's right.
You're part of change because that's all we're about here is change.
Absolutely.
And so I love
Look
you
at
for
us.
that. I love you for that.
That's
If
a
you're
great
listening-
way to end this thing.
100%. If you're listening to this, I love you. I don't care if you're gay. I don't care if you have a horn. You are a person like me, like the next guy, like the next guy. Don't let anybody tell you us differently.
Well, I'm going to say it this way, like he said. If you're gay, I don't want anybody to live because of other people, what they think of them. And good for you.
Be you.
You got supporters here. You got love here. You got anything you want. And any function I have, you come up, you can hug me, you do anything you want. It is not, I don't give a, I might like you too, though.
Don't do anything you want because
Yeah.
Larry might want to.
You're fucking great.
On that note,
Yeah, no, on that note. Anything?
Instagram at that Benz at Real Larry Lawton. Add us if you're not already on Discord. Every YouTube video in the description, there's a Discord link. Click that. Join Discord. The conversation's great. Come say hi to Uncle Mike. Actually, Meth Head Mike now.
Oh,
He
yeah,
changes-
go to this kid. And listen, if you can get through his meth head fog, power to you. And
We'll
let
bring
me
you on
know.
the show.
Let me know. Yeah, I want to see if you can break that. Anybody breaks that, they got fucking guest appearance ever. But anyway, guys, have a great week. We're back live Friday.
Happy Memorial Day, by the way.
Happy Memorial Day, everybody. I hope you're having a great day. Whenever you listen to this, a lot of people listen afterwards, had a good weekend. Please stay safe, make good choices, and we will see you soon.
Peace.